we approach a time where everyone seeks to know. And some things that are right under the surface are revealing themselves to people slowly. But the metaphysics is a work that sought to uncover the surface long before our time. On the first page, experience seems to be a thing almost similar to science and art. Experience is our first metaphysical concept. We gain experience through experience. And through experience we gain knowledge, and through knowledge we attain wisdom. But experience is where it all starts. And if we don't have something going for us, we can't understand where we're at. And so, gaining experience in the metaphysical is essential for success, in my opinion. Experience, indeed, is a knowledge of singulars, whereas art of universals. And that all things in the doing and all generations are concerned about the singular. And what I gather from that is that in any generation, your career or your path in life, your occupation, what occupies your time, is singular, because the present is a singular moment. And for he whose profession it is to practice medicine, for that which is capable of cure is rather singular. So, if we ever need a doctor, we go to a general practitioner at first, and then through a series of specialists, we pinpoint the problem. And now, that to me is an easy example of translating from the universal, something's wrong, to the singular, this is exactly what is wrong, and this is how we'll fix it. And that's why every generation is concerned about the singular, because you need specific things done. But if therefore anyone without the experience is furnished with the principle and is acquainted with the universal, but is ignorant of the singular, he will frequently fall into error. And now we all know the type of people who understand the principle and are acquainted with the universal, where they get the big picture, they see where it all fits in, they see the issues and the problems, and they see that it's they see the faulty aspects of the equipment, and without the knowledge of the singular to diagnose and correct, they'll frequently fall into error. And that's what Aristotle said over 2,000 years ago, 2,300 years ago. That which is capable of cure is rather the singular. Basically, this is page 2 of Metaphysics. It's, if you can't grasp the singular, grasp that, then come back to this. And I say that just because we know we have, the internet is a universal concept. The universe was set free on the internet. We can now explore the world and the stars from the palm of our hands. And yet, too many people are ignorant of the singular involved in any given system in their life, in the place they live and work, and why they go to school, or why they do what they do. It's a triad of the universal and a principle in which you can attack a singular aspect of life. You got to bring that together. And if you don't, then metaphysical concepts are more acquaintance with the universal. And that's unnecessary. But yet, we regard none of these senses to be wisdom. The most decisive sources of knowledge about singulars. But they make no affirmation of the wherefore, the why. Why fire is hot. You still can't tell me. You can tell me, you can explain it and describe it and tell me the attributes. But why it is hot? Still don't know. This part, this is right after that. This follows that immediately. Indeed, it is natural for a person who first discovers any art whatsoever beyond the ordinary power of the senses to be the object of human admiration. Now that's funny. 2,000 years ago, they were falling over the hot new tunes, like beyond the ordinary power of the senses. When art connects you to the universal, and artists have singular talents often, but when they work with the principle of connecting with the universal, it's natural that they're the object of human admiration. It's it's simple. Even Aristotle said it. The universal science. For this person in a manner knows all things that are subjects of it. That's like Leonardo da Vinci, Elon Musk. Universal science. You start with one thing, you master it, and then you learn the art of mastery. And the art of mastery is a concept. And when you master a concept, you can go deeper in. Leonardo da Vinci could do things that, when I was in school, people just said people aren't like that. They said, it just doesn't work that way. Some people just catch a whim out of nowhere. But it's metaphysics. It's a concept. The universal science. This person in a manner knows all things that are subjects of it. But the most accurate of the sciences are those respecting things that are primary. Brings us back to our specialization. The more primary the knowledge, the more empirical data to go off of, the seemingly more substantial the findings. But yet, like quantum physics has shown us that empirical data is not, it is proven to be something that a state of observation has an effect on. Those from fewer principles are more accurate. So, a lawyer, they know the book in and out. They don't have time for metaphysics. But if they do, if they do, it is necessary that this be assigned speculative of first principles and of causes, for the good also viewed as a final cause is one from amongst our classified list of causes. Classified list of causes, eh? I'm looking more into that. Therefore, indeed, may all sciences else be more requisite than this one, but none is more excellent. Metaphysics, dude. When Leonardo da Vinci comes along, nothing's more excellent than that. It's a sight to behold. But this guy was writing about it. We need to incorporate this into our thought process, because a metaphysical concept is simply a concept. I found this one interesting. He's talking about, he's giving critiques or additions on other philosophers, and for this reason they are of opinion that nothing is either produced or destroyed, inasmuch as such a constitution of nature is always in a state of conservation. That nothing is either produced or destroyed. 2,500, 2,300 years ago, eh? Are you kidding me? That is fascinating. Fascinating. Now, this is, I'm going through this with you. As I go through it, I find what I find, and we build something here. But this is the start. So he's talking about Plato, and this philosopher termed such things amongst entities ideas. Named them ideas. He termed them ideas. That's the creation of the prime idea, I guess. You know, that there was a time before people could process such a thing as an idea, and now we have all types of terrible ideas. But according to participation, most things are synonymous with the forms. That's what we're going with. Yeah. You have to participate with the idea, right? That's why the idea of religion has become so corrupt, because humans didn't participate with the idea. That's why the idea of politics have become so corrupt, is because people didn't participate with the idea. The idea became a piece of paper left in place. And yet, we seek to do things that can still be left on the table. It's time to participate with the idea. If your heart isn't in the idea of what you're doing, there's a reason. It's because to form yourself, to become a fully formed individual, you have to have an idea worth participating in. An idea of yourself. So now, once you have an idea of yourself, and once you participate with the idea of yourself, or once you form yourself, you understand that in this concept of universals that we are small. And down here, the dyad of the great and the small, having been made out of the infinite. Now, the infinite is different than just really, really big. The infinite to me is every atom as it corresponds to every bit of the universe, the big and the small. And now, Max Planck, founder of quantum physics, said something to the extent of, in my life's work, I've found that there's no matter as such. And now that corresponds to this idea of energy, where energy permeates everything, and atoms are suspended in a state and become a form. Almost, there's more. We're made of carbon, and yet we're individuals. And stardust truly permeates us. It's in us. And the infinite is now as it relates to the Big Bang. The infinite is the Big Bang as it relates to whatever is furthest down the line that this energy and matter can hold in this universe. That's the infinite to me. Participate with that idea. Participate with the infinite. A lot of this stuff is, it's just groundwork, and Aristotle didn't know shit about the internet, so we know a lot about this stuff, guys. So, every system of learning, however, subsists or is attainable by means of previous knowledge, either of all things or of certain particular things. Now, I see that as you can use anything as a way in. You can use a job to make money, to invest. You can work at a bar to end up cooking, to be able to move cities even, because there's always bars and cooks needed. You can set a path in front of you in which the series of steps to take to attain it are simply a series of further knowledge developed. And that's what this is through the knowledge you have, we ascertain more understanding. Now, this can be your way to learn more about singulars. This can be your way to learn more about universals. When you can't quite find your footing, when the physical aspects of life are all just physical needs that are met. Metaphysical concepts are practically the level of human existence. As soon as we start feeling as though we're more than animals, we're in the metaphysical realm, because birds don't sit and think about this shit. But true, it happens that there's in our possession a congenital knowledge of things. Congenital. You know, like it's in us. We all know these things. Robert Plant says it in the Rain Song. These things are true to all from time to time. Those things. And this is the last little note. So Aristotle is really the father of the foundation of a lot of our society. And it's enlightening if you don't know. But he really laid the foundations of things that most civilizations still use because they're good concepts. When you realize that this shit was written 2,000 years ago, it's like, okay, I know grown men who were 40 pages in, they would have stopped at page 12, you know? And he's the father of physics and biology. At least that's what they say, you know? But therefore, all seem to seek the causes mentioned in our physics. I just imagine, you know, ancient Greece. Aristotle, I've read your physics, and all I can ask is, why? Why did this happen? He said, shit, I'll get to it. Here we are.